everyone, welcome back to another product use case video with the Covalent API. My name's Lei, and today we're going to be talking about crypto taxes. So we've built this cool tool in-house that allows you to easily calculate your cost basis and your capital gains for your crypto assets. This is a pretty challenging thing to do, and there's many different ways to calculate cost basis. So for specific details, you can read the accompanying guide that we'll be posting with this video. But we're using adjusted cost basis, which is the norm in Canada. All of the tax regulations differ depending on what country you're in or what state you're in, and it's also constantly changing because crypto taxation is still evolving. So please don't take this video as financial advice. Of course, this is just an easy tool to help you gain an understanding of your inflows and outflows into a wallet and what type of events are taxable. Also worth mentioning, all of the code associated with this spreadsheet that we're going to be showing, the app script is open source. So if you want to clone it and use it for your own purposes and add your own calculations, you're more than welcome to do so. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so what we're looking at is a Google Sheet that allows us to put in a wallet address with our API key and basically run a script that's then going to take the balances in the wallet and all of the transfers in a wallet and create your table with your cost basis and your capital gains. So on the first page, this is inputs. Here you'll see a bunch of notes that you should probably read, what chains are supported. So this spreadsheet supports all of the chains that we index, so over 150 blockchains, as well as Bitcoin. You just have to put in the appropriate address. You click Analyze My Wallet to make it start, which we'll go through and see all of that. This is a description of each of the sheets. I'm going to skim over it because we'll be going and looking at all of the sheets in depth. But some important notes, again, we're using adjusted cost basis in this. You can modify the script to be whatever calculation you would like. This is for demo purposes, not financial advice. The supported currencies are USD and euros. And for especially large wallets, so people that have thousands or hundreds of thousands of transactions, Google Sheets does not allow you to run scripts longer than a few minutes, so it will time out for those. This is, again, just for demo purposes, so try to keep the wallet size to a minimum when you're using it, or maybe you could find some other way to do that, but that was our experience. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'm putting in a random wallet address. I've selected the currency as USD, and I have my API key here. This API key will be destroyed or covered up in this video, so don't bother trying to copy it. You have to put your own API key in here. Okay, so once you've put in a wallet address, your API key, and you've configured the quote currency from this little drop down here, you just want to hit Analyze My Wallet, and it's going to run the script. So each separate script will ask you for a confirmation or let you know what it's doing. First, we're filling the activity page, then we're going to fill the balances page, and then each of the transfers pages. And this may take some time depending on the size of the wallet. Okay, so when the script's done running, you're going to see it say Finish Script, and then we can go to the first sheet. So let's check out Activity. Now, what this is it actually uses a new endpoint of Covalent's called the Address Activity endpoint, and this is a really unique endpoint that actually scans all of the chains we support, which is over 150 blockchains, to see where and when a wallet has had activity on them. There's nothing really else like this in the market, and it can be tedious to go and check each chain individually to see if there's data associated with it. And some users might not even know that they have activity on certain chains because they may have gotten airdropped or transferred funds and have been unaware of it. So the activity endpoint is the first step in whatever you want to do to see where the wallet's active before you can go and query the associated data on those chains, like the balances and the transfers that we'll be looking at. So for the wallet that I put in, I can see there's 5 chains, I guess, active. Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, Arbitrum Nova, and RSK. It tells you the chain IDs, if it's a testnet or not, and when they were last seen. So as you can see, some of these haven't been seen since 2021 or 2022. We're obviously not going to be as concerned about that depending on the tax year that we're reporting for or whatever else we're using this for. And these also might not be significant events on these chains. You don't know until we'll actually get into it. So let's look at the balances. As you can see, the balances are broken down by the chain. So you can filter these by chain to see only the balances on Ethereum or only the balances on Matic. And it tells you the balance, which is reported in WEI, which you would have seen in the input sheet. Quote rates, pretty quotes. So this is basically the value of these balances in USD, which was the quote currency that we selected. and the ticker of these tokens. So USDC, DAI, a couple popular stablecoins, things like that. That's not really what we care about in terms of taxation. We're more interested in the transfers. So let's go into native transfers first. So the native transfers are going to be the transfers of native tokens on each blockchain, and the native token is the token that you would pay gas in that blockchain. So on Ethereum, it's Ether, on Polygon, it's Matic, on Avalanche, it's AVAX, and you can see these will be broken down here. Now, the reason that native token transfers can be complicated is that even if you're not actually sending funds, every transaction that you make on a chain like Ethereum will have a gas cost, which means that you are going to be spending some Ether every time you do any transaction. Whether it's signing or approving, it doesn't actually have to be sending funds. So as you can see, there's the from address, the to address, and these are other elements in the API response that we've just put into this spreadsheet, as well as the values, the quotes in USD, which you can tell are the pretty quotes, and as well as the gas quotes, etc. What you're actually looking at here is the adjusted cost basis and the capital gains. This sheet is better represented in the native transfers balance sheet, which we're going to look at next, which is more of a summary page. Okay, so checking out the native transfers balance sheet, we're going to see it broken down by chain, and then basically all of the transfers of native tokens into the wallet, the gas fees paid, and all of the transfers out of the wallet. And what we're interested in is over here. This is the balance check. So this is how we verify that the data is actually correct. So the calculated balance of Ether in the wallet is the transfers into the wallet minus the transfers out of the wallet. And the actual balance is what we query in real time to see if it matches up. The difference should be 0, so it's good that all of the differences are 0. The reason that this is complicated is because, as I mentioned earlier, native transfers or any sort of transaction requires gas, and the gas is not properly accounted for in just the transfers. You actually need the internal transactions. So currently Covalent doesn't support internal transactions yet, so we're actually using the Etherscan API to pull these in, which is why we can actually match the balances in minus out with the actual balance. In the future, we're going to be supporting internal transactions, so every single piece of this sheet will be done in-house. Okay, now let's go to the token transfers. So these are not native tokens. These are things like Blink or DAI or USDC, which you can tell by the contract ticker symbol. They're also going to be broken down by chain, and you can see the same type of information when the transfer happened, the from, the to, the quotes, and the capital gains. The best way to actually go through this spreadsheet is to filter it by the token, because if you're interested in your capital gains for a particular token, then you just go to this. The contract ticker symbol is what you can filter on, and then you can select, let's just say I just want USDC and apply that. Okay, here we go. So I just want to see my capital gains for USDC, which is a popular stable coin, and I can see that it's like $3 or something like that, which I can tell is the difference between these delta quotes. Let's try this again for Matic. So I can go to the token or the contract ticker symbol again and just filter it by the Matic token. And as we can see, these actually match up exactly, so my capital gains is 0 for this. Let's check out the summary page for the token transfers that are not native tokens. So again, this is broken down by chain. You can see all of the different tokens that we've transferred on each chain, the transfers into the wallet, the transfers out, and then these calculated balances versus the actual balance. So again, what we see here is this difference between columns is all 0, verifying that the data is actually accurate because what we've calculated matches up with the current balance in the wallet. So basically that summarizes all of your ERC20 token transfers, and you can see that the amounts match up. And how you would use this spreadsheet when you're actually reporting taxes is, again, you would go through these individual pages that have all of the transfers broken down. You can either filter by token, or you can just look on the very right to this column and see what your actual capital gains are, and then go back to the token to verify which one that's associated with. And this will also show you your losses. So in this case, row 18, This is this token called VTD, which I guess was unfortunate for this person. And you can see a number of your big gains. You could also filter by the amounts in here or whatever else you want to do. I can see that there's quite a substantial capital gain for Gitcoin, or the Gitcoin token. That's kind of cool. Now, as I mentioned, you could also do this for a Bitcoin wallet address. Just put that into the input sheet and click run, and then you can make use of these other sheets in here for Bitcoin transfers and the Bitcoin transfer balance sheet. These aren't populated because this wallet doesn't do anything with Bitcoin. So let's go back to the input sheet just to wrap up. One thing I didn't cover is that there's actually a summary up here in the top right of your input sheet, which is going to show you the portfolio value for the wallet that you've put in. So this is the current value of all of their assets in USD, which is the quote currency. And then something that's really cool is that it shows you the API credits that have been consumed to do all of these calculations and how much it actually cost. So as you can see, this whole analysis of this wallet cost 2 cents. So pretty cost effective for doing your taxes if you modify this to suit you. And that is 24 credits that it uses approximately. So these are basically the credits that are used for each API call that's being made in the associated script to call balances or transfers or whatever it is. So that wraps up our demo. As I mentioned, you can check the associated guide for more detail on how this was calculated, how you can modify it, etc. And I hope that was useful in visualizing the power of the Covalent API and how cost effective it is to do your own analysis, which is actually accurate to 1,000%. So yeah, keep watching for more informational videos from us, and we'll see you next time.